Today on the table, I'm reviewing a really nice figure from the Disney Plus series, Daredevil Born Again. Now, this is an absolutely amazing figure that I didn't expect to have in my hands this early. You know, our pre-orders were all expected to go out like November, December time, and for some reason, these just started to pop up in stores, and Target had them in stock online. So I went ahead and grabbed myself Daredevil and Punisher. Currently, Punisher is still shipping, so we're just going to be looking at Daredevil today. So just taking a closer look at the box here, you can see we got our really nice Daredevil Born Again logo. We get a nice look at our figure, which, might I say, looks very sweet. For being like a regular Marvel Legends, I mean, this guy looks pretty high quality. On the side of the box, you got like the graffiti kind of Daredevil look with the Marvel Legends logo. And then on the back, we get our character description here. Y'all can just pause if you'd like to read it. And then on this side, it just says Daredevil. But guys, you're not here to look at the box. Let's just break open this figure. I don't know where my scissors are, so we're gonna get screwdriver today. Paper. Get out of here. Box has a really nice like city graffiti looking background. Here's our figure in the tray. As you can see, it comes with a few accessories, including a grabbing hand, fist hand, his billy clubs, and then the string between the billy clubs for your posing. Now, this string isn't bendy wire, so you can just kind of do whatever, and it will go back to its original pose. I hope that doesn't really limit posing. We'll find that out, though. Another complaint before even looking closer at this guy is we don't get two full pairs of hands, only like the one fist and one kind of sprawled out hand, and then like the two billy club holding hands. You could probably get away with using one as like a fist, but, you know, it would have been nice to get two included. Taking a look at some of the detail on this guy, man, oh my gosh. The head sculpt is just immaculate. It looks exactly like how he looked in the show. There's very nice paint details for the beard. It doesn't feel like flat or anything. I mean, it just looks really nicely done. Even the eyes look good. I mean, I don't even know if there's like a black wash over this guy. I don't think there is. But man, it looks incredible without one. There's just so much nice texture work going throughout this figure. And a lot of like black details on all the buckles and everything. It just looks like amazing. I mean, there's just so much aura in this. And like, it's just like incredible. This is my first Daredevil as well. So I'm very excited to be owning this. Now for the fun part, we'll take a look at the articulation. Head looks up a bit. Head looks down a good bit. Pivoting is incredible. That's an incredible pivot. Oh my gosh, both sides. And that's because of this wonderful double neck joint they got going on. So you can see if I move it down, the neck turns too. And man, this is an incredible joint. I'm glad they're including in some Legends now. I really hope they do that for the new Brand New Day Spider-Man figures next year. I think those could be some great figures if we get double jointed necks. I mean, this is just such a satisfying joint to see move. It's kind of crazy how much extra range it gives you. Then for the torso, ooh, get a little bit of a hunch forward, but it does leave a bit of a hump at the back. And then the same thing goes for the back bend. You get a bit of back bend, but it leaves like a hunch and a gap at the front there. I don't know if there's really a way to fix that. Some customizer somewhere will probably figure it out. But it kind of is unfortunate you do get some crazy gappage while having still kind of mid-articulation. Ooh. The side bend's really nice. I really like that there. Same for the other side. Then, since he doesn't have like a ball joint at this bottom part, it's just your casual twisting, just like your usual stuff for MCU figures. It would be cool if we eventually could get ab crunch, diaphragm joint mix in there, but it seems like for movie figures, they really don't want to do that for some reason. Like all the Thunderbolts figures have like the most buns basic articulation compared to what a lot of their comic figures have nowadays. But, you know, it's just kind of unfortunate, but it won't hinder me from enjoying this amazing figure. I mean, literally just look at it in the camera. There's so much aura with this pose. I mean, this guy just looks so freaking tough. Going back to articulation, though, our arms go up a great amount. I mean, that is more than 90 there. Then, of course, we got double jointed elbows. That can go all the way back very nicely there. And then wrists, which have a up and down hinge. And, you know, can twist, of course. Really do like it. The only thing that is kind of misleading with the articulation here is what looks like butterfly joints, but these are actually like the McFarlane style joints. You see how these little cups, they don't really allow for a lot more range or anything. They're just kind of like, to break it up, it'll allow a little bit of shoulder movement. And it kind of just works well with the design, especially for this guy here. You can see there is a little bit of a cut in there, but it's not that much. It just gives them a little bit of wiggle while kind of making a natural segment between this black part of the suit and then the dark red part. Moving on down to the legs, there's no sort of drop down function there, so that will inhibit kind of like the kicking. Still gets a pretty decent kick. It would be nice to have those drop down joints because then you can really get it like much higher. Unless it's the, you know, battle damage Spider-Man I reviewed there. That was very lackluster. Then, of course, he gets his thigh swivel. Shwoop! Double jointed knees. That kick all the way to his butt. Perfect there. Now, this guy doesn't get any sort of boot swivel, which is kind of unfortunate for Daredevil. You know, he's very acrobatic, especially in Born Again. So it would have been cool to get some boot swivel there. But his feet do go all the way down. Gets a little bit up. There is some pivoting still, though, which is super nice. And this figure has pretty solid articulation for an MCU figure. Now, there's even a little bit of playability going on for if you want to put your billy clubs in a little satchel here on the side. You can just push them. You just push them in there. It's a little tough to get them in there. But you can do it. You can. Trust. You can get them both in there. They look nice. They get basically just like 2 tiny nubs to stop them from going lower, which seems a little odd, but I don't think it's too bad. I mean, even with those in there, this guy's looking super tough. Here's how he looks with his alternate hands. Little pose with him. If you want to put your little wire on the billy clubs, you can just take this and just plug it in there. You know, looks decent. It's just unfortunate that it's not like a bendy wire. Now, these are kind of a bendable material, so I don't know how well they'll hold up over time. And this wire doesn't really want to stay on the billy clubs. But hopefully it won't get too bad over time. Okay, it doesn't want to stay. Here's a pose with it like on there. It seems like it might be a little bit hard to get it to stay on, but I think I might have a fix for that. Now, if you just take your billy clubs here and get yourself some old bendy wire from Amazon, we'll see how we can get this thing to work. Now, to kind of keep it consistent, I'm just going to try to stretch this out and get like a basic length of how long it should be. I'm going to go a tad bit longer since I couldn't fully stretch it out. Then you can just kind of get yourself some handy-dandy wire clippers and just trim it on off. Then you can kind of tell it doesn't fit exactly yet, so I'm going to try to bend it some. Now that I got the kind of flat end on there, you can just put it in there and you got a wire for your billy clubs. I think I'm just going to clip this end off here. Well, a little too sharp for my liking. But you can just kind of plug that in there and then you'll have like a bendy wire. Look at that. Once you create that knot on the other end again, you can just plug them both in there and you got yourself your billy clubs with a bendy wire. Here's how they look in hand. I think that looks pretty freaking tough. But since we got this upgrade going now, let's test out some poses. Here's a bit of like a tossing kind of motion. Here's like a whipping around kind of landing pose. Here's like a running, tossing pose. Here's like my crouching, catching pose. I think this one's pretty cool. A lot of these could be improved if you went with a longer sort of cut. You know, since there's a lot of wire included, I think it's like 33 feet. You could get a lot more crazier lengths going, doing some more wild stuff. But I tried to go as close to like this length as possible. And then if you want to take it out, you can just pull it out like normal. It will stay in its shape there. Here's a more standard kind of fighting pose. Here's like a more guarded up one. Here's like a striking down one. And then here's like a more aura farm, kind of casual stand version. Let's take a look at how he scales with others. Here he is next to the MCU new red and blue suit from Spider-Man No Way Home, from SH Figure Arts, SHF Toby, Mayfix Toby, some MCU figures. Okay. Maximum Spider-Man, Gamer vs. Black Cat, and some other heroes for hire. Overall, I do think this is a very good figure. Now, for being an MCU figure, it's good, but being like a, comparing it to like some of the best comic Marvel Legends, it still doesn't hold a candle. I do really, really enjoy this guy, though. His accessories are cool. I really love playing with the billy clubs. He can get some cool poses. While it might be like the most extreme with there not really being a butterfly joint or lower torso articulation, especially with there not being any sort of boot swivel, there can be some faults there that can limit him. Overall, I do think he's an amazing figure though, and especially with my modification, I really do like him. But guys, that's all for today's video. Let me know what you thought of my modifications and just my whole review here. If you have any other products you'd like me to review. But that's all I got for you guys today. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. See ya.